Hi, my name is Ava Peters, and welcome to the first episode of my video series, PositiviTea. In this series, I will be talking with people of the BIPOC community, but I'll be focusing on the positive while they spill all the tea. In this first episode, I talk with Mr. Nathan Hall, who is the CEO and founder of Culture Check and Simple Stories. In this episode, we talk about how it is important to be uncomfortable and how to become an ally. Enjoy! Welcome to my video series called PositiviTea.
I
Tea
think
spelled like tea, like the drink. So kind of focusing, like I said, kind of focusing more on the positive. So welcome. So the tea part is like there's a thing now called spilling the tea. So that's when you're kind of spilling out all the information and kind of making people aware. So kind of making people aware of the positive is what this focus of this is. Um, okay, so before we kind of jump into things, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
yeah, my name is Nathan. I am a husband, a father. I run two businesses. One is called Simple Story. It's a video marketing agency, and the other is Culture Check, which is an anti-racism support center.
Nice.
Anything else you'd like to know?
And so also, so for your company Culture Check, I saw that you won a Buy Blacks People Choice Award for business training for for the work that you do with Culture Check. Well, one, congratulations.
Thank you.
And can you tell us more about Culture Check?
Yeah, so essentially, we provide support, encouragement, and community for people like racialized professionals. People who experience racial discrimination or even just discomfort in the workplace. And we try to provide that support, that encouragement, a lot of time, the validation of because oftentimes there's a lot of like, oh, you're being too sensitive. It wasn't that big of a deal. So just being able to come and to talk about it, hash it out, and to provide some best practices to bring some reconciliation. That we take the data and the information, the stories that we garner from the community, and we go into organizations and we train them around know creating an anti-racist culture and being more inclusive in our cultures. And so that helps to support and fund this community, the social impact side of things.
And has there been any impact with like COVID on Culture Check at all, or has that kind of just?
No, so I mean, it launched during COVID.
Oh.
So yeah, we're strictly, doing virtual training. And so it's actually, I feel like accelerated and has done a lot more because I'm able to be a lot more places at one time through Zoom. So it's been good.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love Zoom. So the reason I started this video series was to kind of celebrate the BIPOC people in the community and learn more, like I said before to you, to become an ally. Or yeah, educate myself more. So I noticed that on your Culture Check site, you have something called a corporate ally. So can you tell us a bit more about that program?
Right. So the corporate allies, these are our companies who come in and we go in to train them around creating those anti-racist cultures and to be more inclusive, to bring more awareness. Because what I saw was there's so many, I had done a survey of about 420, people of color asking about their experience with racism, and 80% said they had the expectation of experiencing racial discrimination in the workplace. But white leadership teams are completely oblivious to this to this reality. And so there was such just a huge gap between the lived experiences versus the perception of those experiences. And so the whole idea was how do we bridge that gap and be able to uplift these marginalized voices so that they are being heard by these leadership teams. And so my organization's coming and purchasing our training, our assessments and so forth. The proceeds from that go to help supporting our our support center, which is a free service to racialized professionals to get those best practices, to get those support, and to get that community. So companies are not only helping themselves by utilizing our services, but they're actually helping the greater BIPOC community as well.
That's really awesome. So you're a very busy man, considering that you're like the founder and CEO of just Culture Check, and then you're also like the CEO of Simple Story.
Yes.
So what can you tell us a bit more about Simple Story?
Yeah, so it is a video marketing agency. So we create videos for businesses. So like explainer videos, commercials, social media ads. Mostly we do animation, and but we also do some live action stuff as well. So we just help businesses tell their stories better. And then Culture Check is about how do we allow employees to tell their stories better. So I'm really driven by story and the power of story and how much that can really affect and change people's lives.
That's really cool. I really like that. And so I am not an employee yet, but however, do you have any suggestions on how people can become an allies, like for anyone outside of the workplace? Because I know that there's a lot of like younger people who are following me who will be seeing this. So do you have any kind of ways that we can help them out to become allies as well?
Yeah, I would say, one, it's listening more than you talk. So you got to seek to understand and not be understood. As you're telling me about your friends or counterparts there, they were trying to convince you as to why it was not a problem, as opposed to putting all their energy into understanding why it is a problem, right? And so there's that fundamental shift of, am I being defensive? Am I trying to be the prosecutor, or am I trying to understand when someone is talking to me, when someone's calling me out, when someone's challenging me? Am I stopping and I'm putting all my energy into understanding what is being told to me and understanding different perspectives? Validating feelings is very, very important. Oftentimes a lot of gaslighting, and people, it's like, oh, I do something to you, I poke you, I poke you, I poke you, and then you react. And I say, what are you getting mad for? I don't understand. Well, why are you upset? You're being too sensitive. You're overreacting. I didn't do anything bad. And so it's like the people who cause harm are always the first one to denounce that you're going to have emotions to that. And so a lot of times we experience a lot of that where no one believes us, no one cares about the pain. And so it goes such a long way for people to listen, to understand, and then to validate, like, wow, like that's a real problem, because we're constantly needing to defend ourselves, that these things are actually even happening, right? Let alone do people care about them. And creating space for people. So making sure it's like, hey, you have a spot where you can talk, you can come here. I'm engaging in that, and not just the door is always open, because when you're constantly invalidated, when you're constantly told that like you're crazy or it's not that big of a deal, people saying like, oh, my door is always open, you can talk to me, is not really an invitation to, when I don't feel like I can talk about this subject to begin with people. So really going out of the way to make sure people know that you can, there's space for them to talk and engage in those things. And then keep using those periods of discomfort as opportunities for learning, right? So it's like when you're at the parties and people say something wrong, when your teacher tells you to go ahead and read those things, right? Instead of just sitting back and cringing in the corner, now is the time to step up, right? Like I was telling you earlier, this is about courage, right? Anti-racism takes courage. And so it requires you to call out people. It requires you to get uncomfortable at the dinner table and in the classroom. It's really uncomfortable stuff. So really taking those times and being courageous.
Yeah, I get that. Yes. And also because a lot of people in my kind of generation, like there's always kind of those posts that people will, and then they'll end up reposting them to their stories. But then at the same time, they don't even read about what they're posting. They're just reposting it because their friend reposted it. So like you said, making sure that we kind of take the time to kind of read over, kind of educate ourselves more, and not just kind of doing kind of the just because my friend did it, I'm going to do it as well.
Yeah.
And kind of just kind of to wrap it up, if people would like to learn more about you and what you do, where can they find you?
Uh, yeah, I'm on Instagram at Mr. Nathan Hall. That's what, and same on Twitter, same handle. You know, for the professional crowd, if that's who your audience is, you can find me on LinkedIn. Those are the best spots to find me.
All right. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for talking
you.
with me today and talking with us. I really appreciate it, and everything you said as well was very, very helpful.
All
All right,
right. Thank
perfect.
you,
Have a good
Well,
one.
Nathan.
thank
All
you.
right, bye.
Bye.